Hello, everyone. Today also we'll be meeting for another session, and today the topic we are going to discuss on is what is the function of a relationship in spirituality? Hello, Punita.
Hello, Dilmi.
So, how is everything in there in Singapore with you?
Everything is good, and the weather is a bit cloudy, like
Really?
going to
Is it
rain.
raining there, by the way?
Yeah, it seems like a
So
bit
is that
going.
the rainy season?
It's not season. It's suddenly like 2 days rainy, the next day, few days is rainy,
Uh-huh.
and then a bit sunny, and then again rain.
Okay.
Always
Hmm.
rain.
Okay, so let's have the conversation. Yeah.
Okay. So today is I want to ask you about what is the function of relationship in the spiritual path, spirituality.
Hmm.
Mm.
Well, I think there's a huge function, Punita. At least with my experience, I think I even started the whole journey because of a breakup, you
Mhm.
know, and I started going very deeper into this work, and I can see a huge potential when it comes to like if someone is having a relationship that could be a catalyst, but most of the people out there would be thinking it's a hindrance. That is what most of the people believe that you should, and that's why if you take a monk's life, they go to an ashram and they don't have any relationship as such. They completely abstain from any opposite sex relationships. And yeah, because they think that is an hindrance. But to be honest, there's this other way around for in my life, I could say. Because I could see it like a catalyst. It was like, I could say that rather than if you take in people in your life, if you take
Mhm.
that relationships, they come and go, but most of the time it's not so deep. It's like sort of surface level. Yeah, hi, bye, like can we have conversations? But if you take this relationship, if you have an intimate relationship, even people still have surface level intimate relationships. I'm not
Mhm.
saying every relationship is deep, but if you take this person comes very closer to you and constantly interacting with you, so you can't really avoid. So this person could be a complete mirror to you, where you start seeing yourself through him and class. And like this person could really trigger all the wounds that you're carrying inside you,
Mhm.
you know. And so it's very, I feel that is a very much a catalyst, and it really serves a purpose in spirituality because that shows where you need to heal in your life, where you get triggered, where you're wounded. Like rather than putting the blame on the other person, if you look within yourself, wow, there's a wound inside me. I need to heal that. I need to take care of my wound, not just put the blame on the other person, because
Mhm.
that is not the way to go. Because if you are getting triggered, very likely it's coming from the past. It's a
Yeah.
past wound, and also it's another way that it could be a mirror to see yourself through that person. Because I told you there's no one else in here. You see yourself and you're projecting yourself all the time to people. And
Mm.
basically you're seeing yourself, not the other person. And so I feel this whole intimate relationship could be a real mirror for you to grow in spirituality and and to go beyond everything at the end. There could be a complete catalyst, and he or she could be a mirror. And at the end of the relationship, you could be very grateful. I can even share that, like, if the person is like, if the person is more dramatic, it could even bring more, like, not someone who is peaceful. Let's say person is very into drama and all that, like that person can even bring more and more things out of you. Like, yeah. So that, I think that is the biggest function, if you take in intimate relationships when it comes to spirituality. Yeah.
Okay. Could you give an example?
Yeah, okay, that's a good one. Like, okay. Okay, so let's say, Punita, yeah. So let's say that, like, let's say your partner is telling you that, your partner is telling something like that, oh, I don't know whether this relationship would work out, or something like that. Let's say something like that he is saying, and then maybe it comes to a point that that person is trying to leave you or something like that, and then suddenly you will get so much triggers and you will become so flared up, and you will be like, oh, like, all the insecurities and pain start flaring up. And then you want to like you can see that, because here's the thing, because the reason why this is happening is mostly the past. You're carrying the wound of abandonment, There's this past wound that someone has abandoned you in your life, and there's so much pain. Maybe someone died in your life, and all this pain you're carrying inside, and then he is touching that wound inside you, and then you're just like, you become like a monster because of all that pain coming out from you, and that is what is happening. And so those not only this, there'll be many times, there'll be so many times you're getting triggered, even for tiny things. So when times like this, don't, more than looking at the other person or at the external, start looking within you. What you need to start healing within in yourself. There's an abandonment wound that you are carrying, and insecurities. And that is what you need to start focusing on and start healing in your life. And yeah. And also, like, if you take mirroring. So I could say that, like, mirroring also, you're projecting yourself into another person, And for example, like, let's say, let's say that honestly, you see yourself, you see your thinking inside you. You're not seeing another person out there. You don't really, not even someone outside of you. So you see what you think inside you. Sometimes there are people who complain, like, let's say, complaining the other person, oh, you're so selfish. You're so selfish. How come you're so selfish? And you're blaming the other person. But that could be a complete projection of the other person. It's not really.
Is it judgment? Is it that judgment and projection is similar or different? We project our thinking into something. Is it the judgment we make and then projection is same or different?
Judgment and projection. Projection means, Punita, you're projecting yourself into someone else. You are like, you're just projecting yourself. You have selfishness and you're projecting that onto yourself. Because I've heard that sometimes people who have narcissistic relationship, they come and complain the other person, oh, you're so selfish. In reality, the other person is more selfish, but you're complaining the more empathetic person. So that is what you mean by the projection. Judgment means you're just judging another person. You're just telling that it's just you judge, like, whether there's any, you say this person is like let's say, like there's so much, like if you take for gay person, like you're judging that person. How come that this person is acting this way?
Okay.
That's a judgment. How come that this person is like, there are times I've heard that gay people telling you need to kill yourself and things like that. So that is what we call judgment. And you can see, and
it's like a lot of why he is like this.
Yeah, rather than asking that why question, this is how it is. Appreciate the variety.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how it is. There would be gay people, there would be, like, I remember as a truth seeker, I also had this slight thing about slight judgment around these, different categories of people. But then I one time, like, I wanted to really understand their life, what it's like to be a gay person or a lesbian or a transgender, like, or anyone like that. And then I remember I was completely watching like 1 or 2 hours of interview of someone talking about them. And then at the end, I was like listening to like, and thought, this is as a truth seeker, because I wanted to understand everyone's perspective. I realized that these people also need nothing but love, but more different style. That is the only thing. But they also crave love deep inside, and they are very much similar. And like if you take in a gay relationship, there's also like masculine energy and feminine energy. It's just the form is different, just that the masculine and feminine is just dancing together, Yeah. And they also want love, and they're just like us. I'm just talking all this because judgment means you are just like giving the thing as a label, this is good or bad. But there, if you take a projection, you project yourself onto the other person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Judgment is like I have the conditioning in order. This is good. All this is bad.
Yeah, bad.
Wrong, bad.
Yeah,
so we're supposed to do like this. So if other person is not comes according to our frame, then we are judged. Like this supposed to be this. This supposed to.
Yeah.
And then
this is
it's
good.
Like,
this is bad. Yeah.
Okay, it's just that our mental classification of like this is something must happen. This is not supposed to be happen. So this is what bring the judgment.
Yeah. Yes.
But projection is our conclusion. Is it like we conclude like the
projection is you are like you just like project yourself onto you, other person. And like you have, like, let's say I told you, like the narcissistic, like in reality, if you take I'm not categorizing people or anything like that. Even there could be other people also, but I'm taking this example because I've seen this many times with clients. The narcissistic person comes and telling that, coming and complaining, oh, you're so selfish, whereas they're complaining into the more empathetic person who is really serving others and supporting others. In fact, that person's needs, that person is completely lost in the relationship because they're serving the other person so much, but that is not how, but that narcissistic person come and just tell that you are so selfish. That person is completely projecting, projecting the person onto the other person. Yeah.
Okay.
That is what you call like projection.
Okay.
Yeah. So like if someone is so self-reflective, there would be a great opportunity for them to go within themselves. Okay, let me see. Oh, how come I say selfish? Like, let me see where I have selfishness. Haven't I acted like that? When you see that you no longer can judge others, you see yourself have done the same thing. That is what you need to do in the past. Like if you can remember, like even last time I shared a story about the Buddha, that those prince, like I told you about so many prints, like just gathered around and asked you for a prostitute, where the prostitute went, and then the Buddha said, why don't you find who you are? Isn't that better than that finding about a prostitute? So always your concern supposed to be going inside you, not like just going out and all that. And like if you take this whole thing is a projection. And here I'm telling that you can see you're projecting all the time to the other person with intimate relationships. I think intimate relationships are like really supported. I don't even know how those things can get triggered otherwise. Because let's say all the relationships are so surface level, how can anyone can get triggered? But if you take this person comes very closer to you, at least get interaction sometimes. I told you, there are very surface level intimate relationships too. But what I would suggest, Punita, is if you want an intimate relationship, go very deep. Go very deep where you become completely transparent to the other person. Now, only if you are like capable of doing that and feel safe and to do that. And that is, you're becoming so vulnerable. The other person can leave when the person sees your true nature, true self. Can you share your deep, dark secrets with the other person? If there's fear, if there's so much fear and you're guarding yourself, what is the opposite of fear? Like you can't, like you cannot. If there's fear, you cannot have love in that place. Because there's so much fear. You're guarding yourself. And that is what is happening in every relationship. The other person is so afraid of the other partner.
Fear of judgment.
How can?
Right?
Exactly. How can there be love when there's fear? You tell me. There can't be.
Okay.
And that's why, like, when there's no fear, you just start being vulnerable and you start like taking off one shield, another shield, third shield, like that. You're just taking off all your shit and you're like, here I am. This is who I am. If you want to leave, you can leave. If you want to stay, you can stay. But this is who I am. I think that's so beautiful. You can see.
Yeah.
And that is what all my clients are doing. They are showing who they are.
Yes.
And just they can see there's no judgment coming from me, and they feel so safe, and they share everything with me, and they pour their heart into me. Like,
Mm.
like even recently I had a session, complete session, she was crying.
Mm.
That's how most of my sessions go by, and they can finally be who they are with one person at least. It's so healing, Puneet, if you can be who you are at least with one person, and if there's one person who believes in me. And I want to share with you one experience. Let me tell you that. I remember before some few days before my awakening, and I remember I felt so much unconditional love, which I can't express in words. And then I had no fear whatsoever because I was so much in love. And I got the courage to step into the unknown. Even if the unknown brings whatever, now I can take it. Why? Because I have love. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like you become so courageous, and then you step into the unknown. Because here's the thing, enlightenment, the unknown, you have no idea what that is. You don't know, you haven't stepped into it ever. And there's fear there because you've never experienced it. And then you are so in love and you're like, I'm fine. I'm ready to even step into the unknown. This point that I made is huge, Punita, right now, what I just shared. And that's what everyone needs in their path, that love, so that they can fearlessly, and that's what you get from a teacher. Because you're stepping into the unknown, stepping into unknown parts of you. If you yourself said, oh my God, I have changed a lot for the last few months, because you yourself stepping into unknown areas of yourself. And imagine the last step would be like to step into that unknown in like enlightenment or moksha or the truth or whatever you want to call it, the God, the meeting up with the God, and that is completely unknown, and you finally get the courage through what? Love. That unconditional acceptance. Yeah. And that is very healing for me, that unconditional, if you get in that unconditional acceptance from someone, there's nothing more healing than that. And that's why everyone is seeking love in this world. The reason why I had binge eating, just like I was craving my dad's love. At the end, it's love, Everyone is looking for love through various ways, maybe food, maybe alcohol, maybe drugs, maybe relationships.
Here, can you explain to us more about what do you mean by love? Because people can misinterpret the love to be something else. Yeah.
One time I remember one client asked from me, what is love? And I was like, how can you explain that,
Yeah.
And okay. So love means, Punita, that your boundaries are melting away and then you're becoming one with the other person.
Okay.
And there's no boundaries of yourself has melted away and you become merged with another person. I'm not talking about codependency where you forget about your needs and that's something else, please. That's also there. You get lost in the relationship, but that is not what I'm talking, by the way. Something else, where you just, and that is what I experienced, like the oneness of, like, once your ego melts away, all the boundaries just vanishes and all the distinctions made by the mind just vanish. And then you just see the oneness of everything. You see yourself through the other person, your essence, And that is what true love and in unconditional acceptance and letting the other person to be who that person is. So mostly what we are trying to do is like, I'm not discouraging you to like stop your healing process or anything like that. I think everyone's supposed to be evolving and healing themselves and everything. That is definitely that needs to happen. But what I'm saying is like accepting the person as who they are 100%, not just 50%. And that is what you call love. You can accept the person as that person is. Not trying to change, because I remember in the first relationship I started, like I couldn't really accept the person 100%. So my intention was to like, okay, I will have the relationship and then I will change him the way I want.
Yeah, because while in the relationship, people will think we are helping them because they're supposed to change for their own good. So they must change to become this or become that. We will think like if we are the person, we will think like we are helping them to grow in life or something like that.
Exactly,
So
that is what I thought as well.
Everyone is like thinking.
I struggled so much. I suffered so much because that person, I really like if in the past there was this thing that I liked if the person is they take care of their health. That is health is a priority in their life. So, that is something that I valued in my life. So I expected the other person also to value that. And I remember he was very overweight, and then when he came to the relationship, I was like, I don't accept his weight for sure, and I want to change. And then, yes, he changed. He came to the exact shape that I wanted him to get into, but that was so exhausting. How much I had to suffer in the process is unbelievable. And at the end, when he finally came to the best shape, we broke up, and and at the end, I suffered so much. And then I was like, wow, the biggest lesson that I've learned is never try to change the other person, because that's, if you can't accept the person as the person is, don't think about the future right now. Like, don't even make the other person suffer or yourself suffer. Let the person be who they are, and then without you, you don't need to even start a relationship with that intention. If you can accept the person, yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Here, some can ask the question, if suddenly their husband or some partner, they having a bad habit like a smoking or something like that, they try.
Now, you mean already married?
Yeah, already married. They will ask you, now, is it wrong to ask them to stop smoking or something like that? I should accept them to, drink, over drink or smoke and everything. They will ask you something like that. What would will be your answer for them?
Well, if the person is smoking or drinking, yeah, that is what they choose to do. Here's the thing, Punita, even though they might inside, they want to also stop, but they are helpless because that is how they know how to cope up with their emotions. If they knew a better way to cope with their emotions, they would have done that. Like if you take coaching, people come and share their experience and whatever has happened, and they release. And that is I could be more healthier way to release and cope up with the emotions, and then, and there are people even who are just addicted to working out, and those are more better ways to cope up with the emotions. But here, like, these are destructive ways that they have, like, found out that, like, we need to look at, like, even though they're addicted, what is happening is they don't know how to deal with their pain. If you can be there, not create more pain onto that person, so they even more smoke more, drink more, and be there and see what is the pain that they're trying to resolve with themselves, and be a support. And that's why you can, because I remember I was also trying, like, I had also binge eating in the past, like I used to eat whenever I get stressed or emotional and anxious, or I was eating. I was trying so hard to stop that, trust me. I was helpless. I came to a place I could
I
do
really
it.
can feel the temptation towards them, because even to stop like drinking coffee or something, I was a bit struggle and find a way, find like a lot of
lot of struggle,
It's
And it
similar for
doesn't
them.
need to be that healthy relationship would be a more effortless relationship. It's not that you need to drag the thing, and that is what happened in the first relationship I told about. I felt like I have taken so much, like I need to change him, I need to make him the way he is supposed to be. I was like, I can't do it. I came to that point because so much effort, so much struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But
Rather
if you look
than
at the
trying so
flower,
much and
exactly, if you look at the flower, Punita, do you feel like the flower trying to bloom so hard? Oh my God, I need to bloom like so much with effort. No, the flower blooms very effortlessly. And I think that is how I'm not like, there would be arguments, there would be conflicts, but then the relationship's supposed to flow more effortlessly. If there's more like friction and so much effort, there's something off. Yeah.
okay. If the two persons wants like in a life is totally different, then they cannot get along, right? What they want and what this person is want, and then there is a conflicts between, because
Well,
they
you
have
mean the values, what they value in their life.
value.
Yeah, Puneet, if you take any conflict in life, whenever there's a conflict, it's always a mismatch of the values in their life. So like, let's say, a woman is complaining to the husband that they are not spending more time with their family. Something like that. In his mind, maybe the career could be more valuable, and then the woman's mind, maybe the family comes as a priority. So there's a mismatch of values, and then there's the conflict. And that is what always that is happening everywhere. This mismatch of, if you can, I mean, if there's any possibility that where you can find a partner who has sort of similar values, like let's say, like as a truth seeker, you value enlightenment in the like the first priority, because I remember that was my first priority, and imagine you meet with someone who has the first priority as enlightenment. It would be very easy to go along in this journey because you have and the other person has, it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the way they see life is like through these values, like it'll become everything. Their world is based on the priority list, right?
Exactly.
If for me, if when the enlightenment becomes first priority, seeing the truth, I'll make everything as a sadhana for me, like as a practice for me. Like, like career, relationship, everything will become a practice, to practice,
Exactly.
helping myself to grow
Yeah.
and more
Yeah.
heal and everything. For the different, different value, they see in a different way. Yeah.
Exactly. Everything colors through that after that, through that
Yeah.
valley. And it's so easy when the first people have very similar kind of values in their life, because yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think intimate relationship is a beautiful catalyst, not really a hindrance, because what everyone is thinking the other way. Not only even an intimate relationship, Puneet, I could say even other relationships.
Should be more intimate.
No, I'm not saying they also should be.
Some places where we don't want to get so much influences, then we must be taking some space, right? Like if we already know the person is narcissistic, we don't want to really have a transparent relationship with them, right? We don't want to go intimate with them if we already know this person is narcissistic. So,
Yeah, I could say, Puneet, like if you are being abused by a narcissistic person, and then you are like, you have so much abuse has happened, here's the thing, like why people don't like like let's say I have a bruise here, and then I show that it, like you can see it. You can see with blood. Oh my God, there's a bruise, like, yeah. But the thing is, with abuse, the emotional abuse, you can't see the soul wounds that is creating. So people don't take it so serious, Punita. Do you get what I'm saying? So they don't see that emotional wound as like bruise that you see physically. But for me, I can see through the soul and see the wounds in them. But not everyone can see that. Because of that, really underestimated how much harm that they can get through a narcissistic relationship. And if you have come to a place which is in the beginning that you have abused, yes, taking a break from that relationship is the best thing that you can do for yourself. That is self-love, and you definitely should do that, 100%. And then later you will come to a stage where you feel grateful for the narcissistic relationship, because you can see, wow, because thanks to the narcissist, I've gone so deep in my journey. I came so far, So then you'll come to a place where you feel so grateful, and then you can start interacting with them with a different dynamic. Maybe in the past it's a victim kind of a relationship, but here you are more empowered. Even though you're an empathetic person, you are an empowered empathetic person, where you can deal with this more gracefully, this relationship, where you can stand up for yourself and you can tell your needs and you have your boundaries set up, And yeah. Yeah.
It's
So
like we
yeah,
always have to give priority for ourselves, like everything. And then whoever want to stay, stay. Whoever want to go, go. It's
it's
like
like be
when,
who you are, Punita. Be who
yeah,
you are.
sometimes
You know?
we only
Yeah.
can compromise with the other person because of out of the fear that they may lose the other person if they be set this boundary. So we are setting the boundary in order to care about ourselves, right? Like care about our needs and everything. So and then whoever stays, stay. Whoever go, go.
Go. Yeah. It's like be who you are, and then you will meet with the right person who accept you as who you are. I mean, otherwise you're pleasing the person, but you are staying with the person who doesn't even accept you as who you are. Isn't it
Mm-hmm.
better that you let the person go rather
Mm,
than struggling with that person? You
mm,
know?
yeah, yeah, it's a lot easier and better if everyone uh, true to themselves, just be
Exactly,
honest.
exactly. But
So
that is not
everyone
is
will
what
be
happened in
happy.
Punita. That's
Yeah.
not what is happening. It's very rare even people being true to themselves. They are most of the time. And I remember there's this saying that uh, I think this conversation is very self-soothing, like very soul-soothing. If
Mm-hmm.
someone is hearing this,
Mm,
and I remember there's this in a hospital, a nurse who was like asking from very old people, like 70s, 80s,
mm-hmm.
and like, what is your biggest regret? And what she has found out is that most of the people have shared with her that my biggest regret is I wish I'd lived the life of my own,
Mm,
not someone else's life.
yeah,
Yeah, so you can imagine.
there is a
Yeah,
regret at the end if we live
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
according to the
So,
others.
so a person who doesn't even take care of themselves, doesn't
Mm-hmm.
take care of their needs, are very unhappy,
Mm,
very miserable. And then what they're going to do is they're going to create that misery. But
mm,
a person who is taking care of their needs and who is like have boundaries and love themselves, and they are vibrant with happiness, they are full of energy, they are full of joy. So they go spread that joy
mm,
with other people.
yes.
So they're
Mm,
beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the important thing is be ourselves, give importance for all our needs, like
It's important you prioritize your needs, Bonita. you know.
mm,
And I don't think that is selfish. If you don't do that, that is selfish. That is what I think. Because only a person who know how to love themselves will know how to take care of another person.
yeah.
Because they know how they take care of themselves. So they will treat the other person the same way. And
Mm,
the person who doesn't really love themselves will treat very, very poorly to the other person.
mm,
So I think loving yourself is the most selfless. Loving yourself is the selfless act that you can do for yourself. That is the not like this, like the selfless act you can do for everyone else. I could say, yeah,
mm,
not for yourself. Like
yeah.
that's the only way. That's the only way.
Mm. Yeah, I think the problem is people don't even know what they need. Some like like me,
Like
I imagine.
let's take Punita like this. Like sorry to interrupt. If you take even the Buddha story, you know, he was like living in three palaces and he was a prince. He had all the luxuries in his life and he
Mm-hmm.
had a wife. And then the day the son was born, he decided he's going to leave the palace. So at that time, if he thought about the need of the wife, would he ever could be able to leave? But since
Mm.
he left the palace because he craved the truth so badly, and how much support he could do to the entire world, and still people are worshipping after 2,500 years has passed.
Mm.
If he thought about the wife's need and state and the son's need and state, this
Mm.
I'm taking an example. You see
Mm.
that, like, even though now at that time someone could, oh, how selfish, he just leaving the wife and son.
Yeah.
But like, see at the end how much
Mm.
how that is why I'm feeling that is like the
Yeah.
selflessness there. So that's
That's
why.
all. Like, and one more thing, like we all have this kind of mindset, like this age I must achieve this, in this age I must marry, in this I must, looking around the people, whatever they do, they just follow, and then at the end they don't even know that is not their actual needs. That is just, maybe they just need a good sleep, maybe they just need a good food. Well, they thought all this is their needs. They take, and then they live according to these needs, and then they lost their life. So this is what happening, right? Because they think all this is their needs, everything.
Exactly. Yeah,
Maybe
yeah, yeah, yeah.
their own mind, deep down, they want something else. But then, because of the society conditioning, they think, oh, this is what I supposed to do. This is what I supposed to have. This is my need. They may think this is my need, but that's not need.
Exactly. That's so true. Yeah,
Then they
that's
completely lost on some
that
point.
is their that is their running the conditioning.
Mm,
That's not even what they want. But they think that that is what they want because they are not connected to their soul, to their higher self. They are not connected to their seems like, let's say, like if you take Sri Lanka, India, countries like that, they are so concerned about this, like maybe an engineer, maybe an accountant, maybe a lawyer, maybe a doctor. And
mm,
in India, like, I don't know, every man is engineer. Not only men, even women, I get to engineer. And I'm like, oh, okay, like everyone is engineers here. I don't know, I went to New Zealand and I met some Indian men and Indian women. And
mm.
then I was like, oh, it's funny, an engineer there. And so,
That
it's,
is the only, even in my family, when I was grown up, like women must become a teacher, like teachers.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then men
And then
will
they
teach.
come, it's funny, and they come to a place where, like, they become the particular thing, and then they're like, oh, this is it, and I feel so unhappy.
Yeah, why I'm so
Yeah.
unhappy? And at that point, maybe they can think, why I already become what is this, but I'm still not satisfied with this. I already
Yeah, because
married at this
my
age,
mother, yeah, exactly. My mother
but
also wanted me to become a doctor. And then I look at a doctor's life and then I was like, no, I don't want their life. And like sometimes they just, like, it's beautiful the service that they do, but I definitely didn't want that life.
not
That's how,
everyone is meant to be a doctor. Maybe some of
no,
them is really born
yeah.
to become a doctor. So that person
Yeah,
is
yeah, there are
really,
people like that. I really like that then you can really see there's passion to it,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like when people like when they do what they love, there's passion, everyone is attracted to that energy, Punita. Even
yeah.
when I recognize someone who is really truly in love with their profession, I can really see that because there's magic in that, there's beauty
Mm.
in that word, I don't know how to explain. There's something that I cannot explain in their service,
If
you know.
everyone wants to find out in what inside them, what they supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. What
Maybe
is their
everyone
fault?
wants, like, what would be your advice to them, to maybe in a 20 years old adult want to ask you this question? If I don't know what to do in my life, but I just follow this society and every until this moment. So if he or she wanted to ask you how to find out what I really want, what they must do.
Hmm. So Punita, start doing what you truly love,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whether you're getting paid for it or not,
Mm-hmm.
regardless to what you love to do. I mean, I understand there are practical consequences. So if you take Punita, in the beginning of my life, I
Mm-hmm.
was reading, I was doing breath work, I was doing so much inner work that I can't even, I could say even 30,000 plus hours I was doing this inner work and spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
And I just checked the time and the time is this 11:11.
Oh, nice.
Interesting. Okay, so where we were?
Like
Yeah,
to.
I was really, I wasn't really concerned whether I would get paid at the end. No, like, will I have a life? Would I be able to make money? I didn't have anything. I didn't even know that I would be coaching in spirituality. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't even know that I would go this far. But that is what I truly love to do. And then I was really happy doing that work, doing the meditation, doing the inner work, doing all these other contemplations and forgiveness exercises, and the breath work and the dynamic, and like you name it, everything I was doing with so much love, and I was happy to do that. I was reading. And I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't bothered about that, whether I would get paid or like whether what is the practical consequence and all that. And now look at this, like now my whole life is about it. And 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 I think that is what you need to do. You just go walk in where you love, what
Okay.
excites you. What
Mm-hmm.
excites you? That's a good question to ask. Go walk in that path. For me, to create
Mm-hmm.
YouTube content and put it in the YouTube is I'm so happy to do that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't even feel like this is complete my love,
Yeah.
right now. This is
How
just
much is it's really nice. Like we don't even feel like working when doing something
exactly,
so.
yeah.
It's
And then
already made.
when a client comes in, it's just love, It's just I love it. I love it. And then sometimes I create. I have OneNote sheets for every
Mm-hmm.
client, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I just have notes. Uh, I can stay and I can make notes and like because I love what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes, Punita, you yourself know, I text you at 1 a.m. in the morning replying to your messages.
Yeah.
Even I'm on the bed, sometimes about to sleep, but I want to reply. Like, the reason why I do that, like, imagine it's coming from your job. Someone who doesn't love their job. I'm not going to reply to this 1 a.m. Like, who would
Yeah.
think that? Like, that
Yeah.
I'm going to reply to this because they don't see it as their love.
Mm.
Yeah. For me, I love it.
Mm.
Yeah. So do what you love, regardless of I mean, I understand there are practical consequences, but don't worry about like if you love something, you can always that will always if you add value to in other people's lives, eventually you
Mm-hmm.
will end up getting money, whether you like it or not.
Mm.
That is true. And now you see now what happened in my life, and so that's how it is. Go walk what excites you in your life,
Mm-hmm.
and then you eventually find what your calling. You're living your calling. Yeah. Yeah, you won't miss it, this is what you're supposed to do in your life. You will eventually get in there. But I understand some people have so much invested in a job, like maybe a lawyer and maybe a doctor. But there I've seen people who had the courage finally to say, no, this is not what I want to do. I've seen lawyers who just completely, I've seen lawyers a lot, like, and also doctors, like, I don't know, maybe lawyers a lot, like, this is completely like, no, this is not what I want. And even though they've created a huge, like a career where they get so much money, still they said no to that and finally start listening to themselves. I feel that a lot. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Purit, I think we can wind up the session today, and we'll meet up another next week.
Thank you so
Okay,
much,
okay.
Dilmi.
Okay.